This is going to segue to the next thing because you brought this up. Yo, I live like a few blocks away from USA skating rink, which is like, oh snap. I was like, oh snap. I need to ask you these questions. So definitely you were there in that whole scene of it, like, you know, people coming in and battling there. And you even told me this, that you were in a b-boy crew with certain people. So let's talk about that now.
I was in two crews. All right. So for those that are watching that don't know what USA roller skating rink is, but watch the movie Star Wars, the scene with Dynamic Rockers battling Rocksteady crew was filmed in a roller skating rink in Jackson Heights, Queens, where I live, where I'm talking to you from right now. I live right off the 7 train, 82nd Street, Jackson Heights. I can walk about 11 blocks, 12 blocks to 69th Street and Roosevelt Avenue. It's like a 10-minute walk from my house right now. And what is now a fish market used to be USA roller skating rink, the epicenter of hip hop here in Jackson Heights, Queens. And what was dope was USA was an all ages venue. So it's not like you got kicked out after a certain time. Like we would be there. I kid you not. This may sound crazy to y'all, but I'd be 10, 11 years old and I'd be there till like 11:30 at night, midnight. Obviously with my older brother, rarely did I go by myself, but you'd be there and you break and then you know, you'd get to watch a concert, Fearless 4, Run DMC, Just Ice, New Edition. Wow. It was the most amazing venue, and it was right here in the neighborhood. So as a kid, me and my friends were immersed in, well, again, at the time we called it rocking, right? But we were immersed in the dance element of hip-hop. And yes, I belonged to 2 crews.
All right.
So in the 6th grade, I formed a crew with a guy named Lester, who is now known as Psycho Les from the Beat Nuts. He and I were in the same homeroom together, the same 6th grade homeroom. And we called ourselves the Fantastic Breakers, TFB.
Real quick, though. Fantastic, is that because like Dynamic was kind of like
like
Look, like let's be something different than Dynamic. All right,
You know, those were our heroes because Dynamic Rockers were from Queens. So those were our heroes. Like, you know, the Bronx had Rocksteady, we had Dynamic. I used to run with another crew. It was my boy David Soto, who unfortunately is locked up right now. My boy Joey, Nay's the guy that gave me my graffiti name, Rob Ski. Big ups to my boy Little Ram, Romero. I saw him like a few years ago. I'm sure he's still like in the neighborhood. And my other boy, White Boy Billy, who lived on like 86th Street and like 34th Avenue, right across the street from Nay, my boy Joey. And it was us just battling whoever we came across that looked like b-boys. Back then, you could kind of look at someone, a kid your age, and you could kind of tell if he was a b-boy or not. So we'd be like, yo, you break? And he'd be like, yeah. And then we grab cardboard from a Crazy Eddie store or PC Richards, you know, drag it to someone's corner and then battle dudes. Like, that's the kind of shit that we were on.
Hell yeah. Damn. So that was already in your blood to just battle. I mean, just from that area. Yeah.
Right now in 2023, the element that I have most respect for above DJing, above rapping, above the art is b-boying. B-boying to me is the element that I think has stayed attached to the original tenets of what hip hop is, being resourceful, being committed more than any other element. Why? Because you guys can't use a laptop to do windmills. You guys can't rely on an app to do head spins. You guys can't rely on any kind of technology to do flares. It's your body and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, the b-boy element as a DJ, I have no problem, no qualms saying that the b-boy element is the pinnacle of what hip hop is. Like it's just your body, dude, and that's it. No other instruments. You know what I'm saying? And being resourceful, being creative, being imaginative. The shit that I see b-boys do now is incredible. And DJs, you know, a laptop will save them. You know, rappers have other rappers write for them. You know what I mean? And no one cares, but no one can do windmills for you. You got to do this shit yourself.
Even with the two, okay, so the advantage of technology for us is that footage is passed around faster, but the acceleration of physical ability becomes faster, but you have to work on that. No matter what, you still have to work on it. Like, no matter what. Like, they're
exactly. Like, the reason I say that is because I was a b-boy. So
right.
I understand. I empathize with what it feels like to get floor burns. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that in a way that someone that's a fan of hip hop and says, oh, well, yeah, the DJ is the most important element, or, you know, it's about rapping. Like, that's what makes the industry money, or whatever the case is. And it's like, nah, bro, b-boys, they're like front line, like committed. I have so much respect for that element of hip hop. And I feel like b-boys on this 50th year anniversary of hip hop, to me, b-boys are not celebrated enough. You know, I feel like for whatever reason, like b-boys seem to be like an afterthought in a lot of these concerts and events. And it's like, yo, have you guys, promoters, these, you know, venues that are like hosting these events and shit, have any of them stopped to think that the element that introduced hip hop to the world is the breaking element? You know, if it wasn't for ambassadors like Rocksteady Crew going to Europe, doing interviews and all that shit, we wouldn't have had movies like Wild Style and Beat Street and Breakin. Then it created the space for movies like Krush Groove and Rapping to come out. Yo, b-boys, man, that to me is like the front line, like, you know, and it's the element, not you know, not to go off on a tangent, but like, this needs to be said because it's not said enough. So I feel like too, when you think about it, everyone talks about, well, hip hop started with DJs and Kool Herc. But the thing about it is, when you think about it, breakers existed, the dance, obviously not in the term, under the term or umbrella of rocking or breaking, you know, but the dance, elements of the dance existed before Herc's first party. And then on another level, when you think about how Herc has been quoted as saying, I created this merry-go-round technique because I noticed that the b-boys would stand around and wait for this one section of the record. They'd wait for the break to come on from songs that I was playing, like The Mexican or Funky Drummer James Brown or Give It Up, Turn It Loose. And then when that break section would come, they'd start dancing. And from that, I came up with this idea. He says, from that, I came up with this idea to go from break to break to break to break from the different songs that I had in my crate. So if you sit down and analyze what he's saying, breaking inspired the merry-go-round technique. If no one was breaking on those break parts, Herc would not have come up with the idea of dropping from break to break to break to break across the plethora of songs that he had in his record crate. In all due respect to Herc, I'm not saying this in a negative way. Although I have my theories about the beginning of hip hop and all that, you cannot deny you. If there was a Mount Rushmore of DJs, Herc's, I don't care what era we're talking about, Herc's face is on there, right? That said, 50 years later, it's like the world just forgot. And now it's all about rappers and DJs. You know, forget about Graph. Like, Graph isn't even like a thought at all. You know what I mean? And I feel like breaking is an afterthought. And that's not right.